Don't worry, we're not gonna bust out the entire highway robbery angle like we had with Claude Giroux, John Tavares, and Matt Duchene. This player doesn't happen to be an older veteran who had signed for a lot cheaper than expected. He happens to be a young guy who signed for roughly a very fair and reasonable deal for both sides. Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Knies has signed a 6-year extension with the Toronto Maple Leafs at $7.75 million a year. Nice deal, Bench Rates goes out there and says. He has $9.6 million worth of paid contribution. Contribution value, you can say. And the fact that his contract is 7.75 means that he adds about $2 million worth of value to the Toronto Maple Leafs with his play. Now, I saw some people going out there and talking about how Knies' $7.75 million extension works with the John Tavares extension because he's making 4.3. If you add these two numbers together, it's like $12 million in total, which, if you've been paying attention, is like exactly the same as what Knies and Tavares were making combined last year. Just differentiated differently. Knies is no longer making $1 million on his ELC, he's making this amount. And then Johnny T is no longer making $11 million, he's making 4 point something. So it fits. And ultimately, with the Maple Leafs also losing out on Mitch Marner, you're really starting to see a lot of the culture shift with this team and this signing. Darren Dreger said that progress was made yesterday after multiple hours grinding through discussions. Toronto does good work on this one, as it's believed the Knies camp wanted a shorter term. Just a horrific deal or decision by Knies' agent to allow him to sign the contract. Maybe that's so, but at the same time, I do think that both the player and the team should be very happy with this. Knies getting that $7.75 million AAV, it's roughly in that Matt Boldy ballpark, and I think a lot of folks are sort of projecting them similarly over the next few years. You can debate that Knies would have had it in his best interests to take a shorter term deal. He could have gotten more money, 5 years, $8 million if he ended up holding out a little bit. And that would have been totally possible too, right? I think a lot of people wouldn't have been surprised if Matthew Knies was overpaid by Toronto based off of the team and based off of their history. But with Johnny T taking that 4 point something mil extension earlier, Knies taking this extension here today, it's really starting to set a different standard with the Maple Leafs that Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews are kind of responsible for. So Tavares and Knies, these guys could be on the cusp of changing things for the better. Take Marner's alternate captaincy and give it to Knies. Keep the other A on Johnny T, maybe get Nylander rotating in there once in a while, and then of course you're going to have Matthews as the captain. But this is some really good work done by the Toronto Maple Leafs to get Matthew Knies signed to this kind of an extension at this length of term 2. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Matthew Knies signing a $7.75 million AAV deal. We have to go out there and talk about this. We're not going to end the video just yet. We need to talk about the numbers. Knies had 58 points in 78 games played last year. $7.75 million guy who's 22 and scoring this amount of points at 21-22? Yeah, sign me up. That's totally reasonable. This guy could be getting 70 plus points a year over the next few seasons, and nobody's going to think that's absurd based off of the talent he has shown off so far. So 7.75 for that kind of guy? I mean, if it was Mitch Marner signing this contract, it could have been up to 10. Who really knows? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Matthew Knies and this brand new spanking extension for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think it's a good deal. What do you think? Let me know in the comments all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.